All right, I guess better 10 years late than never. My name is Jake.
I'm Curtis.
And today we are talking about the new film Black Widow, which, as I just stated, is kind of late. I feel like this movie should have taken place, 10 years ago. I don't know why it took so long. Because there's the original 6 Avengers. Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. And I feel like Hawkeye and Black Widow are just now starting to get the attention that they should have really gotten from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that it took so long, but it was weird because thinking back to 2010 when she first showed up in Iron Man 2, I was like, I want to see more of her, and obviously we saw plenty of her.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we finally got to see her own movie. So what did you think of this movie?
I like the movie for what it is. I like the movie. I was kind of expecting or wanting something a little bit different as far as the storyline, but overall, I enjoyed the movie.
I did too. I thought first of all, there was 2 things that really stood out to me in this movie. First of all, Scarlett Johansson. She's awesome. As far as because she had a lot more emotional pieces, I guess more of an emotional arc in this movie than what she has in anything else.
Yeah.
And I thought she pulled everything off really well. Because this movie takes place pretty much right after. It seems like right after the airport fight in Civil War.
Yeah.
Because it's right after that, but right before the very end of Civil War, where Captain America busts everybody out. Because they say that everyone else is already in jail, so the only people that they're looking for is Steve Rogers and Natasha.
Yeah.
So they're the only 2 that still, and that's the only time where they were the only 2 that were free.
Yeah.
It was in between that airport fight in Civil War and then the very end of Civil War when Cap's there to break everybody out.
Yeah.
So that's it's kind of weird. That's I guess we see what she's been doing, or what she did in that,
while she was running.
Yeah, that was a week or 2.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been in prison that long. So that was pretty. I guess she was very busy in that little time frame. But
tracking down her family.
Yeah. So like I said, the big thing that stood out to me was Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, and the other thing is the action. It was pretty brutal. Some of that stuff looked like a lot of those fight scenes, because she's a normal human. She doesn't have superpowers or anything. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking just that first fight, I was I'd have been out for 2 weeks. I would have been doing it. I wouldn't have been going to work. I would have been doing anything. And she was immediately back at it. And they did a lot of things with her that little things that I really was, impressed with. One thing that I really like about certain superheroes like her or Batman is that these are just normal people. They don't have superpowers. They get pretty banged up. You saw her with her shirt off, and she had all those bruises.
All the bruises up and down.
Yeah, it's she is. She's a normal person. As badass as she is still just a normal person. There was that, and then there was a comment made by, I'm assuming it's probably going to be the news, Black Widow. But she made a comment about, she's like, of course they're not going to come after you. Then they're going to have to deal with one of the big ones. And she's like, what do you mean by one of the big ones?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't think that the god from space has to take ibuprofen after a fight. and it's little things like that. It's she really is just a normal person. And it's kind of cool seeing, her, I guess the aftermath of her dealing with fights and things like that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really liked, I think this movie did very well on showing I guess how dangerous and how impressive she is. She was 3 steps ahead of everybody the entire movie. Even starting at the beginning when it was what was the guy's name? General Ross.
Yeah.
It was when he was trying to capture her right after Civil War.
Yeah, she was in.
And she was she was 10 steps ahead of that guy. And that was kind of how it was in the whole movie. Every time it seemed somebody got the best of her, she was you find out that she was way ahead of anyone else. Yeah. And that was pretty cool seeing it kind of showed why she was such a important part of the Avengers, which I don't think I think that they I loved her in the other movies, but I think that there was more to her than what they shown. I think that they missed a lot of opportunities with her. And but this movie I think was pretty cool, the way that they kind of did a lot of things that I was hoping they were going to do in other movies. Some of the other characters in the movie was David.
David Harbour.
Yeah, he was the Red Guardian, who's
Yeah.
kind of like the Russian version of Captain America.
Yeah.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah, I love David Harbour.
Yeah, I do too. I like him. I like him anyway. Like from Stranger Things, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But like he really he really cracked me up in this. Like I like how he's like telling one thing. He was put in prison and he's telling these stories about when he fought Captain America in the 80s.
Yeah.
And what do you think was the deal with that? Do you think that he was just full of crap, or do you think that there is more to that?
There's way more to that. I mean, like in Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier, like we found out
Elijah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a super soldier from like the 60s and 70s. So surely there's got to be somebody that was taking up that role secretly.
Yeah, at first it was kind of played off like a joke, and I did think it was funny. I didn't think much about it initially.
Yeah.
And then I saw a comment on Facebook where they were like, somebody was like I know that was like played off like a joke, but like there could be really something to that. And I started thinking about like, he's a super soldier.
Yeah.
And we found out Falcon and Winter Soldier there was another super soldier. So like it's completely possible that he fought someone that he thinks is Captain America,
Mm-hmm.
or could have like had the mantle of Captain America at the time. I guess.
I wonder if it could have been
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What's his name? Elijah Bradley.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I can't remember his story exactly, like when he was like active as like super soldier.
Yeah.
I can't remember like the time period of that, but
I think it would have been after.
it would have been after Steve.
Yeah, I think it was in like Vietnam area, like late 60s, early 70s.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking it might have been him, and I was like, but I don't know. I hope they do more with Red Guardian. I know that he's expressed wanting to do more with the character, and I hope that we get to see that. The story in this movie is which they've touched on a little bit in the previous movies, is the Red Room and the training, and like pretty much where they like take these young girls and turn them into Black Widows.
Yeah.
And it's basically, we find out that Black Widow, which I think that they even brought that up in a previous movie, but that Black Widow had taken down that organization, and we find out like really that they're still active.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much their mission in this movie to kind of bring that back down and like set free all the other Black Widows.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that story. I like that she had something that was her own thing that she was like taking care of.
I mean, I like that. I really enjoyed that part, but what I really wanted from this movie was to show her in the Red Room, like at the beginning of the movie, training to become Black Widow, and then showing missions throughout the years of her realizing the Red Room's a bad place and wanting to get out of it.
That would have been cool, but the only thing with that for me personally is like they kind of touched on it a little bit in Age of Ultron. Yeah, they touched on it a little bit, and like I just don't know if that would have been like, I guess like with Scarlett Johansson now, like I don't like they would have de-age her and like all that kind of stuff to bring her back to like being young.
They can do Robert De Niro.
Oh no, they definitely could have. But for me, I'm just like, even now, I kind of felt like the movie was like, because this movie takes place in the Marvel universe like 5, 6, 7 years.
Before she died.
Yeah, before she died. So we're so far beyond like everything that happens in this movie that in a way it kind of like, that was the only thing that I didn't like about the movie. It's like how far past we are with things like everything, like she's not in danger at all because we know that she's in future movies. Yeah. So like the danger doesn't feel real. For her anyway. Some of the other characters, you don't know what happens to them. But yeah, like the danger didn't feel real to her, and then like it kind of seems like all this is like inconsequential for like the big picture because obviously like I said, this is like so long ago that like obviously everything works out. Yeah. We know that. And of course, like we know that most of the time
it doesn't technically work out for her, but
yeah, that's true. That's one thing. That's another thing is like this movie, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like the whole movie, I was sad.
Yeah.
Like the action was awesome, and of course, I loved seeing her and all the, all the fight scenes and everything. But like every now and then, I was just so bummed out because I was like, I know you're gonna die, and like this is really making me sad because like I really like you. Like I want to see another Black Widow movie. Like I would like Captain America got 3 movies and like Iron Man got 3 movies. I was like, she might just be getting 1, and like I don't know, it bummed me out because I think that they could have done more with her that they didn't do, I guess. Yeah. And I wish they would have this movie would have came out 10 years ago. Because with the original 6 Avengers, Iron Man's my favorite. There's no getting around that. But then my second favorite, it was kind of in between Black Widow and Captain America. like I don't know much about Black Widow in the comics, but like just her version of Black Widow, like I felt like there was way more to her that like I just kept wanting to see.
Oh yeah, I mean like I always enjoyed her screen time and everything that she did in the movies, but I don't know, I wouldn't throw her in my favorite.
What did you think about the villain?
Which one, Taskmaster? Or
Yeah, the Taskmaster. That's the one that they kind of advertised, the big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought she should have had a bigger role. To be honest with you, like
yeah, I felt like they didn't do enough.
Yeah, like at the end, she just kind of lays there.
She kind of reminds me of the what's the character's name from Ant-Man and the Wasp? Ghost.
Oh yeah.
Like it was kind of like she was just kind of there. Like it was like there was no. Like she didn't have a big part of the story. I didn't think.
Yeah.
Like she had like you see in the previews that she pretty much copies everyone else's abilities, like Hawkeye's or Black Widow's or Captain America's, and like they just don't do enough of that. Like do enough with that. Like I feel like that was like a wasted opportunity.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when before the mask came off, I thought it was Hawkeye.
Oh, that would have been a plot twist.
Because you know how like they have control over spoilers, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put the spoiler there.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, they have control over the Black Widows and training and all around the world and whatnot. And I thought that had something to do with Hawkeye because they talked about being in Budapest.
Yeah.
In one of the other movies, so I honestly thought it was Hawkeye.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know who it was. I really had no clue. I didn't really think much about it. I was just like, I thought that it wasn't even a real person. Because at the beginning, they had that little like USB port that they're putting in the helmet, and like giving her information away. I was starting to think it was just gonna be an android or something, but no, it wasn't. It was the leader of the
Red Room General Dreykov.
Yep, yeah, it was his daughter who like Black Widow had pretty much like attempted to kill, like just not attempted to kill her, but attempted to kill her dad, and like she was kind of just like a casualty. And that's something that she's dealing with. That was one thing I really liked in this movie is like how it kind of like made it such a big deal. How like through everything she's been through, like she still like tries to be a good person. Yeah. Which is like very clearly like uncharacteristic of like other people in these, in this like group. Because like even like the Red Guardian, like we definitely see that there's good parts to him. Yeah. Like when he remembered the song that the little girl, like there was a lot of things with him that like you could tell that there is a good person in there, but like. With her, like she actively tried to do like she did not stick into that world at all. Like she actively tried to get out of it. She became Avenger, everything. So I don't know. I really liked seeing that like they showed like what a good person she was.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think about her sister?
I loved her.
Yeah.
She was. I loved the part where she was talking about Black Widow. She's like, you always do that pose, and it's funny because I started thinking about it. I was like, she does do that a lot. It's like when she does her superhero landing, and she'll like flip her hair, like Black Widow flips her hair back, and her sister who like they kind of like set up for future movies. She's like, you always do this pose. You're a poser, and like it's funny because she was definitely doing the superhero pose that Deadpool brings up occasionally.
I think all of them do it, don't they?
Oh yeah, all the superheroes have a certain like pose like that they would do, and it's like it's funny that somebody like brought it up, like kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, like
just got called out.
And then with the after credit scene. Okay, so I don't remember her name, but it was Elaine from Seinfeld, who was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, who is like kind of recruiting. Black Widow's sister in the film, and she it seems like she's like building her own little team. Yeah. She's getting the little the great value brand of Captain America. So she's getting her own little team together. She's like the off-brand Nick Fury right now. But I think that's setting up something pretty exciting for like the future. I don't know what that's setting. Like I don't know what that team is going to do that she's putting together. But like I don't know. I'm excited to see where it leads.
I think they're going to cause a bunch of trouble, and the actual Avengers are going to have to come in and fix things.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that because it seems like both the people that she tried to recruit so far have been like kind of good guys by the end. She wasn't bad at all.
No, she wasn't bad at all.
And then of course like the off-brand Captain America, he kind of like redeemed himself by the end. So it's like he's so neither one of them are really bad guys. So I don't know what they're gonna set up. But man, having her at Black Widow's like gravesite, man, that depressed me so bad.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It actually kind of made me mad.
Did it?
Yeah, like I was really into it. Like she's like leaning over and like kissing the grave, and she's crying and stuff. And then all of a sudden you just hear her, and then they just start joking. I was like, that's not a time to joke. I legitimately got mad at that part, but
it was inviting for me because I was like, this is gonna stop. Like, I was like, maybe so sad when it had her like her gravestone. It was like sister, daughter. It was like sister, daughter, Avenger.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is bumming me out. Even though it kind of like it seems weird after like Endgame, because Endgame they were like said that pretty much like the Avengers were her only family.
Yeah.
And like now there's clearly like, you know, she had another family who even had like, you know, a gravestone for her and everything. And that was one thing is I really liked seeing like the aftermath of Civil War and the Avengers breaking up. Mm-hmm. Like she was clearly very upset about, you know, because that like, and you know that they were all probably upset like this, like, because that was like she like expressed like how like the Avengers were pretty much her family, and like them breaking up, like it was kind of like.
None of them except for Hawkeye really have much family, do they?
No, they're all kind of just loners. So it was like all these weirdos were just put together and become like a family, and now like that had been broken up in Civil War.
Closest thing that I could think would be Ant-Man and his daughter.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Tony Stark and his daughter.
Yeah, but for the most part,
sad to me.
Yeah, and of course we don't know exactly if Steve had a family or anything, but we know he was like with Peggy.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is like I don't know. So most of these are like, you know, kind of loners, and then they all kind of got together. It's like kind of depressing, like once like we got to see the aftermath of Civil War, which we know that happened. We kind of missed, you know, 2 years after between that and Infinity War. Another thing is, how quickly did you call the vest? Because I called it like immediately. The vest that she wore in Infinity War that her sister had.
Yeah.
You know,
man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that was the vest that she had in Infinity War.
I wonder why she kept bringing up the vest with the pockets.
Yeah, she brought it up at the very beginning. Like during that, I was like, she's gonna get that vest. Like I was thinking her sister was gonna die, and then that she was gonna keep the vest. But of course that didn't happen. So yeah, I called that like immediately. As soon as they started talking about the vest, I thought she was gonna die, and she was gonna keep it in honor of her sister. But obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, that was like weird. Like, you know, you catch the part where like their little hideout where they stayed. She was like, "What kind of bullet holes are those?" And they're like, "It's arrows."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that was obviously from like where originally Hawkeye was supposed to like kill her or whatever.
Yeah.
And he decided not to, and like keep her around. So I thought that was kind of like a nice little thing. And then there was another thing that really struck me too, is like when they were talking about how her sister was talking about how she's like, I've never been able to make my own decisions, you know, and that's why she was talking about buying the vest. And she was like talking to Black Widow, it was like, have you ever thought about, or like she was like asking her if she wanted kids. Like obviously they can't have kids because of what they do to them in the Red Room. But she asked if she could have kids, and like Black Widow made that little look, and that was like, that made me think about the conversation she had with Bruce Banner in Age of Ultron. I was like, man, this movie's like some deep cuts. Like this is like depressing. The whole movie, I just felt bad for her.
Yeah.
It's you have to think like Natasha, like she really didn't have a great life, like from beginning to end. Like from the beginning, like, you know, she was from pretty much from birth, she was in the Black Widow program.
Yeah.
And then all the way up until, obviously she had a little bit of good time when she was with the Avengers and with S.H.I.E.L.D. before that. But then after that, of course, the world goes to shit and like half the people die. And she's like,
she takes over S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, and she's pretty much by herself, like trying to like, you know, protect the world because like everyone else is kind of giving up. And then like after that, she sacrifices herself for the world. And like, I'm like, man, this shit could not have a good life. And, like it really depressed me the whole time. The whole time I was like, man, this is like bumming me out. I was like hoping to have a good time, and like I did enjoy the movie, but like, man. Another thing though is I saw, like, how did you watch it? Did you watch it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I watched it in the theater, and like, man, I was so happy when I saw that Marvel logo in the theater. I was like, man, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I used to, yeah, 'cause I mean, you know, I used to go see movies all the time, and like I hadn't seen them, but a couple of movies in the last few years over, you know, because of COVID and everything.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we saw Fast and Furious, but yeah, we hadn't seen very many movies, and like just seeing that, like hearing the Marvel music, the Marvel logo, I was like, yeah, this is right. Because, I mean, of course we had the TV shows, but it's not the same.
No, there's no.
No, I mean, I'm still always going to prefer the movies. I'm just like, I'm more of a movie person than a TV person.
Yeah.
But, okay, so all in all, what rating would you give this?
I'd give it a good.
Good?
I wouldn't go far as great. Because like I said, I wanted a different storyline, but that's just my personal opinion.
I'm going to give it a great. I wouldn't say fantastic just because of, like, I felt like they underused the Red Guardian a little bit, and they underused Taskmaster. And they also should have had this movie come out 10 years ago. But, like, outside of all of that, like, I really, really enjoyed it. And, like, even those things, honestly, are, like, nitpicks for me. Like, I really thought the movie was great. It would have been fantastic if they had cast Jeff Goldblum as the Red Guardian. I would have watched that. Could you imagine that?
I'd watch it now. It'd probably be even better. I love David Harbour.
No, Jeff Goldblum would have killed that role.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him arm wrestling people in prison?
Oh my god. Can you imagine him talking with a Russian accent?
Oh my god, that'd be awesome. But, so I guess that is it for this video. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. We'll be back soon with, I guess, the final Loki video coming up. I haven't seen the last episode,
I haven't either.
but I heard that the alligator is still on the show.
Is it really?
Yeah, apparently. So alligator Loki is apparently a big deal.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Until next time.